you know, it,
All right, we are live on Facebook.
Okay. All right, it is 5 o'clock, and I'm going to call to order the special called meeting of the Fountain Lake School Board. And we have one motion on the agenda tonight. And Corey, I'm going to ask you to read that.
Motion to accept the letter of resignation from Brandon Barbary as head football coach effective August 16th, 2019.
Okay. Discussion?
well, I received a letter roughly at 7 o'clock this morning, brought Mr. Campbell in and along with Coach Davis, and we had a conversation with Coach Barbary, and his intention is to resign for personal reasons and is not planning to pursue education. So he's stepping away from education for personal reasons is what he alluded to in the resignation.
And I know this was just sudden, so I haven't even had a chance to read the letter of resignation yet, but do you have that linked? No,
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go get a hard copy of it, we can read the resignation out loud as far as part of it if you've got it linked in there.
I got it right here.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it'd be good for us
Yeah.
to do that. Just read it out loud.
Go ahead and read that.
To the Fountain Lake School Board and Dr. Murphy, thank you for the opportunity to lead the football team. Due to personal reasons, I will be resigning my position as head football coach / teacher effective August 16th, 2019.
Right.
Thank you, Brandon Barbary.
Okay, so very simple to the point. What questions do you have? Any?
You know,
About the resignation, or,
Yeah, about the,
so his contract can be terminated, I mean,
you know, I prior to this issue, I contacted legal counsel to see what recourse of action you could have to what would be a breach of contract at this point in time in the state of Arkansas, and Attorney Jay Beckett alluded to the fact that there is no true clause with a person. If the person is requesting to leave their contract for another position with another district, then there could be a recourse of action until you have a suitable replacement. If that individual is leaving their contract to no longer pursue education, you can file with the Arkansas certification area, but to my knowledge, according to Mr. Beckett, that it does not constitute just cause that would pull his certificate. And that would really be the only recourse as a board that we feel with someone taking a course of action to not fulfill their contractual duties that they entered into initially. And so I made that contact call the other day just to see what our options would be as a governance team.
and if we choose, we can choose to accept the resignation or not accept the resignation. Just as a technical question, if we chose not to accept his resignation, just for whatever reasons, that doesn't make him come back, obviously, but does that in any way prevent, I guess that would prevent you from putting anybody else in that position? You couldn't contract with somebody else because you would already have.
Yeah, we don't have a recommendation at this point in time.
Right.
You know, we spent our day with the leadership team, with the coaching staff. We've had conversations with each coach individually, trying to figure out what our next steps are going to be moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did not ask the attorney, in the event that the board does not take action, what would be the next step. I can reach out to him, see if he can take a call, but in my prior experiences, it becomes a contractual matter, not an obligation to work matter. So he's not going to be obligated to come to work.
Right.
You know, the board could say we're not going to accept the letter of resignation, and then I would, at that point in time, contact legal counsel and indicate that's what the board's choice was, to make a statement, not in support of accepting the resignation, if that's what the board so chooses. But it doesn't, there's nothing binding that would
Right.
require him to be here.
Right.
On his classroom responsibilities, we'll use a sub at this time, or what? Other
Yes.
Teachers pick it up?
We feel like in the interim, we're gonna use a substitute
Okay.
to cover his duties, specifically, the weight training classes that he had, and I think he had some middle school PE classes to cover, that obligation within the day, not so much the coaching duties.
And I'll just ask this question, I don't know if it has any relevance. If we cannot find a suitable replacement for the teaching position, is there such a thing as where we can pay for the planning period for those teachers and pay them for an extra period to cover that, if there's other teachers on staff that can cover those positions?
Yes, yeah, you can either cover it internally, or
Yes.
you can use a substitute externally. I would tell you with where we sit, with the season opening in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have to operate shorthanded in an interim role.
Right.
And so our
As a
staffing,
coach.
as
For
a,
the
as a
coach.
coaching
As
staff.
coaching staff, yeah.
I don't anticipate that any of our solutions will bring us back to the same number of coaches we had
Right.
prior to this resignation. We
Right.
feel as though, we're gonna have to figure out how to make it work with the existing staff we have.
Okay.
Thank you.
But the teaching can be covered with our contracted sub company.
Yes. Yeah, we plan on doing that, and, as an administrative team, look at, is there a way that we could better serve students other than a sub by shifting a period and looking at the effect, on students and the quality of what we're trying to deliver, and then seek out a long-term sub that can fulfill those duties, in that regard. Because we do have an educational obligation as well to fulfill as part of this, and in that assignment, I think it was 2 periods of strength and conditioning along with some physical education classes.
Okay.
Sounds like you've got that covered, though, thank you.
I don't have any questions, but I would like to thank Brandon for his dedication and leadership to the kids this summer. I thought that, you know, they came out and worked really hard, so I'm sure this was a hard decision for him.
And I know we had a good crowd last night of kids that were here
Yeah,
to
there's a lot of
support.
kids that did support him, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's extremely, unfortunate that we're in this situation. It's definitely an oddity in terms of, it does not happen. And we are searching to figure out, one, how did we get here? And two, how do we keep them getting here again
Sure.
in that regard? So, it doesn't do anyone any good to put ourselves in this position at this point in time in the year, and apologies to the community and the kids for the situation which we're in.
Figure it out.
Yep.
I do know that there was support there. Whether he felt that support or didn't feel that support, we truly do believe with what he's disclosed that he feels this is best personally for his family as a whole.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? So we have a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Brandon Barbary as head football coach effective August 16th, 2019. All in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 3-1, and we are adjourned.